Hello and welcome to episode 36 of the Championship Rounds podcast. After a really good weekend of boxing, we'll be reviewing the whole Saudi card and the Japanese card, and maybe a bit of Lewis Neri as well. There's only one place to start though. Dmitry Bivol defeats Artur Beterbiev by majority decision to win the undisputed title at light heavyweight. And I'm going to say it right now, that's the fight of the year. Ridiculously high level, extremely entertaining, really good fight.
See, like when you get fights like that, I mean, look, the level of those type of fights, I mean, they just elevate them. Like you can get fights that have much more action, but just the skill level on display just elevates them so much.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Just a really pretty fight. Just 24 rounds of technical beauty.
It was more back and forth than I thought it would be. I sort of, man, it was just so good. Like I think Beterbiev started quicker, but then Bivol rallied and it was back and forth, and like both had really good moments. But like it was just such a good fight, man. It was such a good fight. Bivol had to overcome stuff, Beterbiev had to overcome stuff and rally late to try and nip the fight back in the 12th. And like it was just really good. It was really good, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, it was pretty like carbon copy, but flipped of the first fight. I mean, Beterbiev started well and had like a better first half, and then like Bivol adjusted, had the better second half, which was kind of surprising. I mean, I said Bivol had to like pace himself better because he started way too fast, and I mean he did, and he had that energy to work in the second half like he didn't have in the first fight.
Yeah, I honestly thought, excuse me, around sort of the 4th or 5th, sort of after there was a sustained period of Beterbiev really getting to Bivol a little bit, and like I honestly thought Bivol was going to get stopped at one point in there.
It was getting a little like not. It didn't look like it was going to be a whole like switcheroo just a couple rounds later.
Yeah, and then like the adjustments Bivol made, I think Beterbiev were ultimately lost in this fight, and we'll get onto the scoring later. But I think he was working the body really well early on, and that was impacting Bivol definitely. And I think he sort of abandoned it a little bit. Like he wasn't going to the body as much when he was on top. He thought, "Oh yeah, I've put a dent in Bivol now. I'm getting to him, and he's just going to start crumbling." And he had sort of abandoned the body a bit, and I think that was his major mistake in the fight.
Yeah, and that's like major mistakes he's made. Like he got away with it in the first fight, not going to the body for the first half, but he did not get away with it this time, barely going to the body in the second half. Because I mean that's what he needed to do, but you can't stop going to the body half a time.
Especially with a fighter like Bivol, where he obviously needs his legs to start everything he throws. You need to suffocate that.
Yeah, like Bivol is not like an Anthony Yard or a Callum Smith or someone like that, where you can go to the body for a few rounds, then stop, and they're just gonna fall down. No, you have to keep breaking someone like Bivol down. He's already took your power for 12 rounds.
You can't do it for half the fight and just say, okay, well that's enough.
It's not enough.
It's like the output like just split in half.
Yeah, I mean he completely dropped his output in half. I mean, I don't really know. Maybe his age was telling. I mean, he couldn't really keep up the same pace that he did in the first half. Whereas, obviously Bivol had plenty of stuff left in the gas tank. And look, I felt like in the first half, I felt like Bivol just didn't do everything to win that he could have needed to win. And I felt the same with Beterbiev. I felt like Bivol left it all in there this time, just pushed it and did it enough to win.
You were like, at the end. He was covered in blood. He was. You could tell he needed that. Like,
yeah, he needed
mentally.
it. I mean, look, the determination he had to win that rematch is like crazy. And yeah, I said he needed to stand his ground more. He stood his ground more, and it worked. He moved less. He stood his ground more. And I mean, look, he made the adjustments and he pulled them off very well.
It's crazy knowing that just a couple years ago, you say the name Dmitry Bivol and you don't really associate that with like determination, a crazy chin, like insane grit. But then after 24 rounds with one of the hardest punchers of the last 10 years,
Yeah, I mean,
like,
look, that was one of the questions I had. I didn't think he'd be able to take that. I mean, I'd never really seen it in him. I mean, he's never had to show it, of course, but I'd never seen it in him. That's just what I was. That's why I was picking him to get stopped. I didn't think he could take that for 12 rounds, let alone 24 rounds.
it's after 4 month turnaround. I really thought that short
Yeah,
turnaround was not going to help him at
I
all.
mean, I think even after him taking that for 12 rounds, I still think I underestimated his toughness and his great determination. I underestimated it.
He's an elite fighter. Like it's insane to me how he turned it around that much. So like, yeah, you can slate Beterbiev like maybe not doing stuff that he should have, but that's an insane turnaround in that second half. That's like he was legitimately getting punched around the ring and getting chased and getting punched up pretty badly in some of those middle rounds. Like they were quite dominant rounds with Beterbiev, some of them. Like, and I genuinely thought like, oh my god, he's gonna get stopped.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
generally thought it was gonna be around like an 8, 9, 10 stoppage. The way it was looking.
Yeah.
I imagine most people probably thought that as well. But I mean, once it hit that second half, I mean, he really got into a groove, really started just fighting his fight. And once you let Dmitry Bivol get into his rhythm, you're just going to have such a tough fight with him.
You're just gonna have to
Even
take that.
like even someone as great as Beterbiev, once you let him get into a rhythm, it's hard. And then even when he kind of gets out of the rhythm, like he did in like round 10, I mean, he got straight back to the rhythm in round 11.
Yeah, like people are talking about Bivol like round 9, how good he looked. Round 11, that deep into a fight, like he looked he looked insane in that.
Yeah, I mean, look at what was happening into the 11th of the first round. I mean, he got dominated in that round in the first fight, and then look at what he did this time round. That's complete flip. I mean, it's just insane.
He lost damn near every round in the first fight of this like second half, and then this time he's won damn near every round of the second half of this one.
Yeah, because I mean, I only gave Beterbiev one round in the second half. I mean, there's a few close rounds, but I mean, I only gave Beterbiev one round in the second half.
What round?
The 12th round.
Yeah, I think he won the 10th as well. But yeah,
Yeah, the 12th and the 10th. I mean, the 10th round was a swing round for me. That's one of the closest rounds I've ever seen.
I think that is the closest round.
Yeah, that's definitely the closest round in the round of the fight. I mean, it's one of the closest rounds I've ever seen. I didn't really know who. Flip a coin and give it to whoever. Anyone could have won that round.
I've watched this fight live once and I've watched it back 3 times. Like I've and I'm not gonna lie. I scored it Beterbiev live, and like everyone was seemingly picking Bivol live, and then watched it back again, scored it a draw. Watched it back again, scored it to Bivol, then watched it back again and scored it a draw. It was that close. Like, yeah, but like probably Bivol just edged it, probably, but like it was razor thin, man. There was
Look,
there was a lot of close rounds, man. Bivol probably nipped it though.
like, I just think Bivol just did more this time.
Yeah,
I think he just did more.
yeah,
Like, he couldn't have done more than he did.
yeah.
And Beterbiev could have, but you know that was down to Bivol.
It's the fine margins, man. It's the fine margins. I think the key though, like the key was Beterbiev not going to the body as much. Like he was dominating that body, and then he stops, and then Bivol sort of pretty much as soon as Beterbiev stopped going to the body was fine. Like he was straight in a rhythm as soon as Beterbiev stopped going downstairs, and he started racking like reeling off a load of rounds in a row, and then you're thinking, oh my god, how has he done that? Like, man, it was so good to watch. That like, I'm saying it right now. That's the fight of the year. Like something ridiculous has got to happen for that not to be fight of the year. That was such a high level fight.
Yeah, I mean, you see what I was saying, where I said like Beterbiev has to commit with when he's punching in the preview, and look, he was doing that in the first fight, the first half of the fight. You see how good a jab looked,
Yeah.
and then he stopped. You can't just put your jab out there and pour it out. It's just not going to work. You have to commit. And I know,
Especially,
like, yeah, I know, like, he's not, like, obviously, people don't look at Beterbiev and go, oh, yeah, everything comes off his jab. Everything works from his jab, but it does. It does. And it just wasn't as effective because he's not committing with it. Whenever he committed with it, it landed and it snapped Bivol's head back. That's
especially like when he was pouring with it, it was slow, and you can't have a slow jab, especially coming back to you against Dimitri Bivol, because you're just gonna get countered, and that's what was happening.
yeah, because I mean, you see it. I mean, he like put it out there a couple times and came with a right hand, and no, look, Bivol's just gonna see that. He's gonna make you miss. And look, I mean, yes, it's more dangerous when you can fully commit with something when you get countered, but it's more likely to land rather than a slow, ponderous out there jab that Bivol's just gonna counter that easy. That's not gonna do anything to him.
Let's be honest. If you're playing the percentages, you'd rather take one to land one if you're Beterbiev than Bivol.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
because your punch is probably it's gonna do more damage.
Yeah. Like yeah, but yeah, it was such a good fight. It was such a good fight, man.
I think it's fitting, really. One that they both become undisputed champion. I think they both deserve to be undisputed champion. Would have been a criminal if either one of those wasn't an undisputed champion. But that they have a majority decision wins against each other.
Yeah, like they've had 24 rounds, and you could legitimately have this 12 each.
I do. Wait,
Yeah,
no, I
like
don't.
it's just
Well, I did on the live watches, but I did end up scoring the first fight I draw.
like
So
both razor thin. Like
yeah,
Matt, like
like around either way, like 13-11 or 12-12. Like that's just crazy. I mean, how many like duologies can you say that they've been so close, so tight, and at such a crazy skill level?
it's just insane, man, insane. But both general, like we said, um, after Benavides Morel, these two were the clear two best in the division, and like I maintain that. Like
Yep, they still are
as good as
by far.
Benavides is, yeah, he's not getting near any of these two. Either of these two, like it's just not. Yeah, like these two are just the best.
Like, he obviously, like Benavidez obviously deserves his shot,
Oh, definitely.
but there should be a rematch. Well, there should be a third fight.
He gets comprehensively beaten by both of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
But he deserves some type of like after with the Canelo stuff. He deserves some type of chance. But he should be able to wait just another 6 to 8 months.
Because like Beterbiev can't wait. He's 40. He can't wait. And like Benavidez, he's still young. He can wait. Bivol, I mean, he's pretty young still, and he still looks fresh. They've got time. Beterbiev can't wait. This third fight has to happen next.
It'll probably be his last fight, win or lose, maybe.
No, I hate doing this, but I don't think either fight is going to be the same after these two fights.
Well,
I think after the first one, you've gone 12 rounds in a rough fight with Beterbiev. You just done another 12 rounds in a rough fight with Beterbiev. Like,
yeah, but the thing is, like, I mean, their defenses were like reasonably pretty well, especially Bivol, and they're taking punches on the gloves, making them miss. I know obviously Beterbiev is not known for his defense, but I mean he still blocked quite a lot of shots. I mean they didn't like take like a crazy amount of punishment, or at the very least a sustained amount of punishment.
Only Bivol did in like the first fight for like a round or two. But.
Yeah, I mean look, they both hurt maybe once. Bivol, I think a body hurt to the body maybe in the second fight, in like the fourth round or something. Like not much punishment taken. I mean, obviously, I think Bivol will be fine, and Beterbiev, well, he's not going to have many fights, maybe just one. But I mean, he wants to move up to cruiserweight anyway, and well, he's good enough to move up to cruiserweight and beat Bivol. I mean, he's a big guy. But he fought as a heavyweight in the amateur. That's cruiserweight. It's just his age.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's injury prone. But.
I don't like that. I don't like the amount of shots he takes against hard punching cruiserweights. If I'm being honest, I worry about that if he moves up.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something to have concern about. Because I mean, he's big, but some of these cruiserweights are very big.
Yeah, like he's a.
Yeah, like Zerto. I mean, Zerto's massive.
Yeah.
That's why like he can move up. He's massive. Somehow he made super middleweight. Don't know how.
That was crazy, man. Zerto.
I mean, even Bivol said he might move up as well. I don't think he should move up. He's way too small.
Yeah.
But it would be funny watching him just. I don't even know. Watching. They don't even rehydrate to 200 pounds. I mean, Bivol doesn't get anywhere near 200 pounds in the ring.
It'd be like 187. Like
I don't even think he'd get that one. I mean, he might rehydrate 10 pounds. I mean, Beterbiev, he'll probably be in the 190s, like low 190s, maybe.
Yeah.
190.
I think Beterbiev is a 190-pound cruiserweight.
Yeah.
Really.
But those guys just at 200 pounds, I mean, you're just not going to be the same with that extra weight. But Beterbiev's more likely to be able to do it than Bivol because he's bigger.
Yeah. And he's got more power to keep people off.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing. Like, yeah, like it's just I'd honestly just make them fight like 5 times or something. I don't like just just keep rematching these two because it's so good. Like both fights have been so good.
Look, I mean, obviously the problem is like Beterbiev's age, but I think the problem is like if you can beat Bivol once, well, I don't think you're going to be able to beat him on points just again in any fight, and you're going to have to stop him. And he's so tough, and I mean he's just going to get better and better. I think, especially after all these rounds with Beterbiev. I mean, fighting great fighters that just make you better.
That chin was insane, man.
Yeah, I mean he's just so tough, and his chin is. I mean, look, with his chin, like, I mean he doesn't really get hit on the chin that much. His head is like his chin is glued to his chest, and that's what helps him take all these punches. I mean, he doesn't get hit on the chin that much. Like discipline is crazy. Like not once do you really see his chin just come up, and that's hard, especially when you're getting. I mean, obviously you do when his head snaps back, but I mean he's still pretty defensively responsible even then.
Definitely.
Yeah, what a fight, man! What a fight! I'd, man, what a fight!
But I
It's
mean,
genuinely that's one of the best fights I've watched live. Like it was ridiculous. It was such a high level, man. It was so good. It was so good.
like you can just say every adjective ever for both their fights, and it still might not be doing justice. To be honest. And look, these are just the fights that you want. Like as a boxing fan, these are the fights you want, and these are the fights that keep you interested in boxing and get people interested in boxing. I mean, how can you watch fights like that and just not love boxing?
It had everything apart from a knockout or a knockdown, and it didn't even need that really.
Yeah, fights don't need knockdowns or knockouts, or even fighters to be hurt to be great. Like you get good action. I mean, it doesn't have to be crazy action. Just the skill level. The skill level just can make a fight or break a fight. And you know, like I always say, you give me a high level fight over a slugfest any day.
It was unreal. It was unreal. But yeah, but like moving from that to a pretty pathetic performance.
Yeah, hold on. One more. Like if they rematch, I'm picking Bivol by
Yeah.
decision. A bit like wider this time. And I don't think there's gonna be any like controversy. Like it could go either way.
Yeah.
I don't even
Like
know.
8-4, I think.
Probably.
I don't even know. I haven't even really thought about that yet. Um, I do you think Beterbiev's lack of experience going a distance maybe cost him a little bit?
Maybe. I
That's one thing
mean,
I've thought about, but I don't know.
because I mean, does he? Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't know how to pace himself.
Yeah, like
Just never had
Because
to.
yeah, he's never had to. Like he like steps it up and has a high like output, but he's like usually he's barring his opponents doing this, and usually they'll go down. He won't have to go like loads of rounds or have to think on his feet. I mean, it's not just like what he's doing. I mean, it's mentally as well. He has to think as well. Does he really have to think that much against other opponents? No. Has he really had to? No, who's really made him think? No one's made him think.
Maybe Vosduk, but
Yeah, other than that fight. But I mean, what was it? He just he had the fight being out of him.
mhm.
Whereas Bivol, you can just never see him having the fight being out of him.
Especially now. Like maybe you could think that when Bivol has like a 50-50 fight, that he wouldn't really be the same. Nope, he just got infinitely better.
Yeah, and maybe even that was a question Bivol had himself. Maybe he wasn't sure, and now that he knows it, like he was like, "Yeah, I know it after the first fight," and now it's just 100% definite.
It's ingrained in him now.
He knows he can do it, and other people know he can do it. Like you're not just gonna walk in there and just bully around Dimitri Bivol. It's not happening. One of the toughest fighters in the sport, alongside his rival, Beterbiev, of course.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just maybe he
Unbelievable.
can't. Yeah, maybe he can't. Because obviously his age, like obviously a 40, it's hard to have a high pace going all 12 rounds in a fight like that. But even when like he nearly went the distance where he got the stoppage to win the belt, I mean it was just one sided. Like he was just battering Cuellar, and then stopped him late in the 12th round.
I think he held back in that fight as well.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean he did throw like 1,100 punches in that fight.
Yeah.
Like I mean that's a lot. Like I say, it's just one sided and nothing else coming back. He could have done that for 20 rounds. It's all about what's coming back.
Yeah. He did just a punching bag. Right.
And see, I thought with the first fight, I thought maybe like he started slow. I thought he might have started slow because like big fight experience under in that type of fight. I mean, Bivol had been in a Canelo fight. Like that's as big as you're gonna get. Like Beterbiev is a bit nervous at first and takes a few rounds to get into it. Like that could have been the case in the first fight, but I mean, you can't say that for the second fight. He's been in a big fight and he started faster. Just Bivol adjusted, and he couldn't really adjust himself again after that, which is credit to Bivol.
Yeah. Elite fighter, man. Elite fighters.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like when you sit here and he's 40, you wonder, how would you wonder, of course, Beterbiev of 5 years ago would beat Bivol. Like you would think that, but I'm not sure, to be honest, because I know like obviously he's gonna be younger, fresher, but I think he got better. He's just been getting better with age. I think he probably peaked at like 38, 39. I mean, maybe his best performance to me is probably the Callum Smith fight. Like he made a lot of mistakes, like in his earlier days, that he could get away with.
There's a lot of doubt around the Anthony Yard fight as well. Like after that, like there's been it's a weird narrative with Beterbiev. It always sort of has been. I think like that he's just a come forward bruiser. Like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that. We've got 24 rounds out of them, man. Like I find it difficult to say like, oh, what would have happened 5 years ago or 3 years ago or whatever. Like it's
Yeah,
just
I mean, look, they're different fighters.
yeah.
Yeah, but we might get another 12 rounds.
I think we will.
I think we will. I think we will, and I think we should. Like
Yeah.
they're 1-1. It deserves a third fight.
Yeah.
It's one of the one of our generation's big rivalries. Finish it. Get a winner.
Might be one of the best light heavyweight rivalries ever.
I mean, I think it would have to be.
Yeah, like it's up there. Like, man, they're both all time light heavyweights, and this is a discussion for another day. But man, yeah. Andre Ward retired when he did for a reason. But anyway,
Look, we need to respect Andre Ward. He was a great fighter.
yeah, but he retired when he did for a reason.
Look, I mean, his knees were just gone. Come on, he was just so injury prone. And he wasn't really a light heavyweight either. He did his thing. I'm not saying he would.
Match as well.
I'm not arguing whether he would or wouldn't beat these guys. I'm just saying, like, there was a reason he retired, and it wasn't to avoid Beterbiev or Bivol, who were around at the time and were. I think one of them might have been his mandatory. I think it might have been
Beterbiev was his mandatory, and I think Bivol was regular champion.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But, maybe that fight wouldn't have happened anyway. Beterbiev had his promotional issues.
Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, let's move on, because otherwise this episode is going to be about 12 hours long. Martin Bakoni pulled a con job, to put it frankly. I actually thought he boxed quite well in the second round, but he took one big shot, went down, and then Nelson pulled him out, and they're laughing all the way to the bank. Like, it just... What was the point in that for anyone watching? Like,
look, I don't know why anyone expected anything of Bakoli. What did you expect? 315
I just
pounds.
didn't expect him to get chinned in 2 rounds, but
yeah, I didn't. I don't think many people expect him to get chinned like the way he did. But I don't know why anyone picked him to win. He hadn't trained, or if he had, he barely trained. Maybe 1 day or 2 days. He arrived. He'd maybe been there 24 hours, maybe, or 36 at most. Probably less than that. 24 hours would be about right. And look, you're not going to do anything like that against someone like Joseph Parker. It's not like Bakoli is this special fighter that can just jump in last notice and just beat a top guy. He's not that guy. And that was it. I mean, it was. He was always going to either get just on the end of a wide decision, or he was going to get stopped late because he would be gassed. But I guess he just got iced in 2 rounds. That makes it even worse. But look, it's a win-win for him anyway. If he wins, it's crazy. You beat top 5 guy coming off the couch, basically. If he loses, who cares? He just came off the couch. No one expected him to win, which they did, which would be a lie.
A lot of people were picking him, and the odds for this fight were pretty much 50-50 as well. Like,
yeah.
I had quite a bit of money on Parker, like any method to win, like, because it was like just below even money for him. Like, it was, and I didn't expect that, granted, and I did think Bakoni was getting to him in that second round a little bit. Like, I thought Bakoni had a really good second round up to the point he got iced in, but like, it was just obvious. Like, the sharpness wasn't on his punches. Like, I know he's a big sort of lumbering heavyweight, but like the speed wasn't there. Like, the little speed that he does have, which wasn't there. His timing wasn't, like, nothing was there, man. And it was just like so obvious. Like, oh yeah, he's just gonna get beat. Like,
yeah, and with its success, you just knew, like, if he does make it a bit further, I mean, he only has a few rounds in him.
yeah.
And you also have to take into account that that's a heavier Joseph Parker, who was there, like, heavier, prepared for Daniel Dubois. He's not going to be that heavy for a Martin Bakoli, where he would want to box. Like he would have been
Yeah.
able to move more than he did. And I guess he just thought with him being so heavy, he might as well just stick it on him and try and get him out there, which he did.
Yeah.
You know,
Bacoli's still
but
fighting a Jag, but like it's just that. But I just think they were happy to get paid and get out of there, man. It was a bit like I don't know. It leaves a sour taste when someone does that. Like this is the same Billy Nelson that kept Martin Bacoli in a fight where he had one arm and was begging to be pulled out, but then at the first sign of trouble here, instantly pulls him out. Like, yeah, like they were just there to get paid, man, and get out.
yeah, I think that was the plan. I just think that was the plan. And that's fine, whatever. But
Yeah,
you can't like just lie about it, be like, no, yeah, we're coming to win. Well, were you?
the plan
No.
was the plan was stand toe to toe, try and stand toe to toe, and mix it up with him. And you might land one, and if you don't, I'll pull you out after a couple of rounds. And that was the
Yeah, I
plan.
mean, look, if you're a fighter on late notice who's out of shape and has a fight coming up, just gets dropped like that, like what else are you gonna do? Just throw him in the towel. There's no point keeping him in
Yeah.
and risking getting badly iced.
He probably got surprised. I think that was the first time Bacoli's been on the floor. So.
Maybe you can get dropped by Hunt. I didn't get.
You know, I think he just got stopped on his feet.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
didn't. I know he got pushed into the back into the ropes, and then the ref eventually stepped in for that fight. And I'm like,
yeah. I mean, I don't recall ever seeing him being dropped.
nah.
And then I bet when he's when Nelson seen that the way he went down, he's like, "Oh hell no,
Mm.
hell no." No.
Like
It was a
it was
weird
just like,
shot. He got, man.
yeah, just that shot at the top of his head.
Imagine that landed on his chin.
I
Maybe
don't
he
even
would have
think
got
it was that.
iced.
Like, it's just a weird sort of equilibrium shot that he made his legs go.
That
Yeah.
some people were like, "Oh, did he dive?" I'm like, Jesus Christ.
No, he got hit on the top of his head by a 260-pound guy.
I think he was almost 270 actually.
Yeah, like 267, wasn't he? Something like
Yeah.
that. And, you know, this isn't the usual Joseph Parker who, I mean, he was actually there trying to knock out his opponent.
Yeah, he was mixing it up. Like, it was
Yeah.
yeah. Like I predicted points because I genuinely thought he'd just keep away from him and then just stink it out.
Well,
Like,
I predicted points because I didn't realize. Did I realize? I can't remember. Did I realize? Was it after or before the weigh-in that we did the episode? Or we talked about it? It was before the weigh-in.
It was
No,
it
it was
was
before the
after
weigh-in.
Parker.
Yeah,
before Bacoli waited.
Yeah,
no, it's
before Bacoli weighed in. It was after Parker's weigh in.
because I think we were talking about it, and then Taj noticed that
Oh
they
yeah,
were weighing at the time
it was
because I
during.
think we predicted it like just before, and then we moved on to the jab card.
We did because
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was gonna jump in and be like, "Oh, Parker weighed in like 15 pounds heavier than he usually does."
yeah, and then obviously we didn't jump back to it.
Um, yeah, Parker Dubois, please reschedule that.
Yeah, reschedule that,
Yeah.
and then Bacotti, you know, he just carries on with a Jack fight. Then, you know, I guess the winner of Parker, Dubois fight AJ. Usyk.
Definitely not AJ. Jesus Christ, he's falling off a cliff.
Well, you know, AJ will fight the winner of Bacoli at Jaguar.
Fight the winner of White Julius.
Maybe.
I think AJ gets kept on ice until a certain someone reverses a retirement decision for the 27th time. Like that's the only fight for AJ now.
Look, this is all hype to build up the AJ fight. They're like, oh, look, he's back. Then like they're just gonna randomly announce that AJ Fury is happening. Although that would be hard to keep that one a secret. Every fight seems to get just told before it's even happening.
Yeah, especially with how much certain people like to run their mouths for no particular reason. But anyway, but yeah, honestly, I hope he stays retired. But it's just boring, and
I can't see him staying retired.
I can't either. He's
He's gonna fight till he's 45.
He's gonna fight till he dies.
He's a fighting man.
Shakur Stevenson, Josh Padley.
I don't
About what we
care that
expected.
he knocked him out. That was nasty work.
Look, well, at least he survives me watching him again.
Yeah, he was 3 rounds away from just. I would have hacked it in for life.
Like he looked fine, but it's just that he went 9 rounds with Josh Padley.
Who probably like Josh? He's probably a good dude, but like you might never win a British title. Oh,
I think he could win a British title.
but he could just not. So
He won't win a British title outright. He like because he's not that
Yeah,
good. But he might win a vacant if he gets an easy shot at it. But
nine rounds though, and it seemed like Shakur hurt his brittle hands again.
yeah,
good.
he did.
Like, could you come on, dude? Like he's gonna be forced to just be boring, like and just not active because every time he tries to punch through somebody, he hurts himself. Man, he's
Well,
just
I guess at least we know why he fights, how he
Look,
fights.
man,
and
like
his hands look like they've been put in a blender. That's just it's unfortunate because he's so skillful, but we might not ever see him like what he could really be because of how bad his hands are.
Yeah, I mean, look, he looks fine. Like, I mean, he dominated, really, didn't he? Other than the first round.
He's just aggravating to watch. Really, I'm glad he got the knockout because if he went the distance with a fighter like this, and then the fact that he was even close to it is still nasty
yeah,
to me. But
Look, I mean, his problem is that he had times where he stopped barring him. Let's be honest. I mean, he had periods of like small periods where he just stopped barring him. Like, no, just beat him up.
his hands are just his hands must really be horrible to like punch. Padley was just eating headshots like crazy. He must have either just not felt them or like I don't know.
I mean, look, Padley's tough. I mean, I guess he did need some breaking
If,
down
but if he
because he
got
was
hit
so
with
tough.
punches like that off someone who we know can punch, he would not have made it to the next round.
Oh yeah, of
He was
course.
getting with flush punches, and he was not going anywhere until he got touched to the body.
Yeah, because that's the. I mean, he hurt Padley so many times to the body, and then like he had those periods where he just was just jabbing him, trying to keep range. Like, no, just beat him up. Like stick a flurry in, the ref stops the fight. Like 4 rounds
And
earlier.
him hitting him on the while he was on the floor, and then celebrating like he just beat a great fighter. That he just infuriating. I honestly don't want to talk about them anymore.
Well, I mean, the good that came out of that. I mean, Josh Padley's life has completely changed. He doesn't have to
No,
work again.
he probably
He was
doesn't.
given life-changing money. I mean, he's probably gonna quit his electrician job, and he's gonna get another uh, fight over in Saudi.
He deserves it.
He does.
I can't say the same about Shakur. Yeah. Let's talk about anything else other than Shakur now, please.
Yeah, not a particularly. I just make the Tank fight, man, or a Loma fight, or just anything, or a Keyshawn fight, or just make a good fight. Because Shakur's style is only really going to get appreciated when he does that to an elite fighter or a top level fighter.
Yeah, because if he just outboxes like a Loma or a Javante Davis, well, he's not going to fight Keyshawn, so
Or a
forget that.
Tefian Lopez, or
Yeah, if he outboxes someone, then that'll be appreciated.
What's not appreciated is him trying to punch holes through fighters. He should, like, the skill gap is literally 5-1. You should be
5,
100-1.
100.
Okay, and an infinite amount of numbers.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Please move along.
Hamza Shiraz against Carlos Adames. I think we all agree Adames won.
Yep.
Yeah, 8-4.
Horrific.
Ironically, yeah. Adames won the fight, but the worst scorecard put in was the card for Adames because it wasn't like Shiraz quite clearly won more than 2 rounds. There was some bizarre scoring on this card, like.
Honestly,
Yeah,
Shiraz doesn't deserve it, like, good cards the way he fought. That was
yeah. Like,
disgusting.
Shiraz looked lethargic. He looked slow. There was nothing on his punches. His timing was like he just like usually his jab's really quick and really snappy and like and it just wasn't. It was just sort of flicked out and like nothing really behind it, and it was just terrible.
Like, I guess another broken hand on the card, I guess, but like I think it was his jab hand.
Yeah.
You have another hand. You don't need to power punch with your jab. You could just stick it out. Your reach is kind of crazy. Throw more punches. Stop
You
just
look weight
staring.
train. He like Adames didn't even have to do that much really. He just had to like walk forward and keep some level of volume up, and like Shiraz just couldn't deal with it.
Adames truly could have done way more.
Yeah, like if Adames properly stepped it up, he could have stopped him. But he's Adames, and Adames is a very limited fighter. Honestly, like, and Shiraz just looked terrible.
He
This was
made
the second
Adames
round.
actually
Shiraz
look like a decent fighter. That's how bad
yeah.
Shiraz was.
Look, it was always a massive step up for Hamza Shiraz. He finally has a guy in front of him who's actually like a moving target for once, constantly moving his head coming in. Of course, the broken hand doesn't help, but that was just bad.
That's worse than
Bad,
bad.
bad doesn't do it justice. It's
That's disgusting. I'd
Look, like
I'd say like an immediate rematch. I don't want to. That
no,
was the worst thing on the
no,
card.
no. Hamza Shiraz, no, not Hamza Shiraz. Carlos Adama should move on. He won that fight clearly, and Hamza Shiraz looked terrible.
No, but it's like it would be realistic that they just make it again.
yeah, because you know, Adames isn't a name. He's got nowhere ready to go, and if Saudi offer him a bag, like we'll take it. Right.
Yeah, do a little bit more, and he wins.
I'm also very skeptical, by the way. I'm very skeptical of fighters that about 10 minutes after a fight's finished instantly declare they got broken hands. Especially when you're going around shaking hands with everyone and like tapping people on the back after the fight. I'm very skeptical of that, but it remains to be seen.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he probably did. I mean, I hope he did. I
I
hope
hope
he
he
did.
broke both his
I
hands the way he fought. Jesus Christ.
I hope, like, Frank stole his brain in the bloody dressing room.
You know, half his rib cage was gone because, like, what the hell was that? Yeah. No, it's nasty work.
Like that's so bad. Like Ammo Williams beats that Hamza Shiraz. That was how bad he looked.
Genuinely. He
Yeah,
changed the version of Shiraz.
I just I don't know where you go after that.
that corner work from Funes was terrible, by the way. He was telling Shiraz he was up the entirety of the fight, and then suddenly in like the 10th round, you've got Warren and Turkey running over and saying, "Right, you're clearly behind it," and he's like, "What?" I thought I was like, man, like corners just need to be honest, man.
Well, maybe he needs maybe less of an idiot corner who can actually judge fights. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe his corner actually thought he was ahead when everyone else with eyes and a sliver of a brain
They might
knows
need,
that you're losing.
they might need to be even less honest and be like, you need to knock him out right now, or you're gonna lose. Even when maybe he's won more than a couple rounds. To give him some urgency to do something, but the entire fight he was just staring at a dumbass.
Yeah, because what was it like after the fourth round? I mean, he lost like every round.
I think it was. I think Shiraz won the 11th, and he won the first 3, and the 4th was close.
Well, I can't remember my scorecard, but he lost. That's all
It
that
doesn't matter.
matters. He
Like
should
we
have
all
lost the
agree,
fight.
Damas clearly
That was
won.
one.
Damas clearly won.
Shiraz
Yeah.
was pathetic.
He probably had the worst performance on the card.
Yeah, he definitely did. I was thinking about someone else, but no, he actually did something in his fight.
Yeah.
Next fight down, Virgil Ortiz defeating Israel Madrimov. I thought this was a very good fight. I enjoyed it. Bit of a
The
chess
first
match
half.
early.
I would say the first half was not great. They ramped up like crazy in the second half.
Look, someone tell me what Israel Majimov's game plan was.
I think, like I said in the preview, Madrimov is one of these guys who's a perfectionist, and I think that cost him because I don't think he could time Virgil coming in, and he only wanted to throw when he was sure he could land, and that's what cost him the early rounds. And then Virgil got momentum, and he couldn't stop it, and was tired late on, and Virgil had all the momentum, and that's what really good tactics from Virgil. Kept the pressure on, and then when Madrimov slowed up, like the fight was over. Like
Yeah, and the problem was his best success, or actually landing, was later on in the fight when he actually fought his proper style and came forward because he's not a back foot boxer. Don't know what you're doing. You're not going to win a fight like that.
He got hurt and he was like, I just got to do something.
Yeah, but he was already exhausted and hurt and broken down by then and just couldn't do anything. Like,
I gave him 2 rounds of the second half.
like what did he expect? Look, I said someone like Robert Garcia is going to have a great game plan for Virgil Ortiz. He stayed patient and he picked his shots. I mean, he didn't throw loads, but he picked his shots. And his jab was good. And he worked the body when he could to try and slow him down. And Majimov's just fighting a fight that's not his style. He's not a back foot boxer. The same Uzbek style as the rest of them. Come forward and get those angles and those combinations. That's how he's won all his fights. How he fought. How he fights all his fights. Hey, look, Virgil Ortiz is just not going to care about all those feints, that movement, that flash. He's going to go in there, do his job, and pick up the pace, and stick it on you and throw loads of good, solid, compact combinations, powerful combinations to the head and body. I mean, he's a smart fighter, good fighter. Still pretty underrated, to be honest. I think he's pretty underrated.
He just needs to not be a jackass for the first half of fights.
the reason I picked, I honestly, I was really impressed. I know it's Matomrov and he's not an electric sort of one punch power puncher, but I really liked how Ortiz reacted to shots because I had concerns, being honest, about how Ortiz reacted to some against Boyachuk. Like he took a lot of big ones, but sort of a quick glancing shot was putting him down and like stuff like that. Like I think this was a much more healthy Ortiz, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was.
And I think he's a really, really good problem. He's a really, really good fighter at 154
Yeah.
in the best division in boxing.
Yeah,
By the
I mean,
way,
look, it was another fight at the division where this is basically his. This is I'm counting that as his second fight in the division. I don't count the other two before Bowenchuk. This is basically his second fight in the division, and he's just getting used to it more. And I think he's getting better as a fighter. Look, going a fight like that against Bowenchuk is just gonna make you better.
It's just gonna force you to show more skill than grit. Like he was forced to do things he never really had to do against Belichick.
Yeah, like close fight, got dropped twice. Lots of people think you lost. Like you have to fix those mistakes. I mean, there's mistakes there he had to fix, and he looked like he fixed them against Majimov.
With a completely different style too.
Yeah, a style that lots of people thought would be a bad style matchup for him. I wasn't one of those people, but I could see why people thought it would be a bad style matchup for him.
Imagine it was a really bad style matchup for anybody. Just a very unorthodox fighter.
Dan, you said a couple of weeks ago
Mm.
to beat Jack Catterall. This is a totally rogue comparison. To beat Jack Catterall, you can't fight him; you have to box him.
Yeah.
I think Ortiz is completely the opposite. To beat Ortiz, you have to fight him, and you have to stand and bang with him, and you have to try and outman him, and outthrow him, and outpower him, like Boyachuk did.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it's the opposite to that. Like I don't.
I feel like you have to chin him to beat him. Like you have to really put some hurt on him.
Boyachuk was down there close, but yeah, I just think like you're not gonna have success against someone that's that good at cutting the ring, has that good a jab, has that much volume, has that good body attack. Like eventually you're just gonna slow down. And like I had this fight relatively close scoring wise, but like you just knew from about the 8th round onwards that Ortiz was gonna win because Mazmov was knackered and like once your feet start slowing, like you're just gonna lose rounds against Ortiz. Like you can't just try and nick a points win against them.
Yeah. I mean, look, I never thought Majimov had the best stamina. And I mean, it showed. I mean, look, Ortiz didn't even really have to do that much to slow him down either. Like all the movement would just do it itself.
Yeah.
Like, what was the point of moving that? And like the only person, I guess, like obviously Terence Crawford could outbox Virgil Ortiz because Terence Crawford is a generational talent. But outside of that, I mean, can't really see like the patience as well. Like that might be the most impressive thing is patience. I mean, he doesn't get flustered, doesn't force anything. He's just patient, sticks to his plan. And I would as well if I had Robert Garcia in my corner. I'd be calm.
He's such a good trainer, man.
Yeah, and like he improves fighters, and he doesn't make fighters fight one style. Like does Murataya, Virgil Ortiz, and Bam Rodriguez, they all have the same style? No, they all have different styles. And they're like Bam Rodriguez, one of the best fighters in the world. Virgil Ortiz, one of the best in his division, and likewise Murataya.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget Valenzuela as well. Like, he doesn't have the same style as any of them either.
Jose Valenzuela. I forgot he's fighting this week, but
Hmm.
yeah, really good performance from Ortiz. Next up, one we all got wrong, although we did say it was close. But yeah, after the first round, after the first round, even though I gave it to Zhang, you just knew.
Yeah.
That body attack was crazy.
Yeah,
He landed. I think Copy Box had 96 landed body shots.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
He
even
didn't
when
even try to
Caballero got
defend
dropped,
it.
even when Caballero got dropped, you just knew.
Yeah.
He didn't
When
seem
he got
hurt at
dropped,
all.
when he got dropped, he got up and just carried on absolutely battering him.
He got up, turns the corner, was like, "Yeah, I'm fine," and then just went back, just hammering away at the body. And Zhang was like, "What's happening?"
I mean, look, that's a round that you could score 10-9 because that's all Zhang did was drop
Probably
him.
would score it at 10.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't because, come forward. Also, in the moment of the time, didn't think about that. Yeah, I mean, he just completely battered his body. Like, if you thought, like, his body work was good in the two previous fights, that was just another level. Like, what? A heavyweight working the body like that? I can't think of many. In boxing history, Joe Frazier, maybe.
Mhm.
So I think that might be it.
I guess like Tua and Abiabuchi are good body punchers, but
Yeah,
not
but not like
they're
that.
not like prolific. It's not what you think of.
I'd say who has underrated bodywork. Not from all time since, but today. Daniel Dubois has proper underrated bodywork.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he does have some good body punching. It's just a heavyweight who throws body punches. I don't know why more of them don't do it.
Especially the shorter ones, like someone like Joseph Parker could easily.
I mean, he does jab to the body, which is good.
Yeah. Like when he's on the inside, it's like, yeah, there were so many opportunities against Zhang to do that, and he just didn't. Like,
Yeah, I guess maybe if he had that fight back, I mean, he probably switch it up. I mean, he could have like stepped on Zhang in the second half of that fight. But I mean, he probably should have.
yeah,
Both Zhang and Cabello have very weird careers as of late.
like Caballero was getting hurt by Kevin Johnson and almost banged out in a European title fight like 2 years ago.
Agron Smakichi.
Yeah, like it's just weird. Like, like it's just really weird. Weird career, man.
And now, I mean, I guess he's closing in on a title shot.
Yeah, I'd say he's he's just catapulting himself one after
Yeah,
another.
he just won an interim title.
I think he'll get upgraded.
Yeah, if he doesn't get a title shot, he's getting upgraded.
Yeah.
Which
It's a weird sport, man.
we hate, but
Yeah, he's a problem, man. I still can't get a couple of those fights out of my head though. But he's definitely a problem. He's a really good fighter.
like anyone as skilled as him who works the body like that, I mean, he's fast. I mean, he took quite a lot of. I mean, they weren't like great punches from Zhang, but he took quite a lot of punches pretty well. And getting dropped against Zhang, that's fine.
Like even took the knockdown. He didn't seem hurt at all.
Yeah, and he wasn't that hurt. He just got caught with a shot he didn't see. And most other people, they get caught by a shot they don't see, they're dead. And he was fine. He was fine. Yeah.
There's more people hurt on this card without being knocked down than that. Zhang's like one of the harder punchers on this whole card.
Yeah, the only heavyweight I'd like confidently pick against Cuellar is Usyk. But even then, I mean, look, like it's overblown. Usyk's problem with body shots, but I mean, he's not gonna like them, is he?
You have to acknowledge him now.
Yeah, like He's
You
not
know
gonna like that.
he will definitely, if they fall, that he would definitely go down there.
And that's I don't think Usyk's going to be there to be hit with the body shots, but that's definitely going to be a problem if he
Especially
is there.
early.
Yeah, but the other ones, Parker, Dubois, who else is there? I don't know again. Bacoli, all those type of guys. I mean, look, Zhang, not Zhang, Caballero has a great chance against all of them, and I'm sure many would favour him against most, if not all of them, too.
Put a crazy body attack on him.
Yeah, I mean, look, because the heavyweights, they're not like carved out of stone anymore, are they? Like, lots of them are out of shape.
Well, it's become a division of sort of big stiff idiots that are just out of shape. At least the big stiff idiots from years ago were in shape.
Let's stand like that there.
Yeah,
Mm.
like
Like, I'm not surprised that these fighters can't take body shots.
yeah, they're not.
I mean, how many body shots do you reckon they've had to take? I mean, barely any heavyweight throws body shots anymore.
Yeah, it's not.
And I imagine they won't throw them in sparring either.
Especially with the sort of it's been obviously Usyk's the exception, but it's been a big man's era, really. Sort of,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of really big, tall guys that obviously aren't going to go to the body as much because obviously, like, it's a long way down, sort of thing. And like, yeah, like it's just, yeah, a lot of these guys aren't gonna go to the body. Like, it's a weird era. That it's taken a lot of these fights to sort of work out who's who, because like I remember in 2020 when Caballero was meant to fight Fury, there was outrage about that fight, and then like you've got guys like Frank Sanchez and Zhang, like who were allegedly top guys, getting smashed to bits by him. And like
Yeah.
it's just a weird division. Like there's quite a few dark horses still, I think, and there's these dark horses who aren't really dark horses, and there's a lot of sort of I don't know. It's just a really interesting division. I don't think it's particularly high level apart from the top couple, but like it's a really interesting division heavyweight.
It's unfortunate that the skill, um, like in most divisions now, it's just the top couple fighters who are really, really good.
Yeah,
But this one is really top heavy with the skill, but not top heavy with like who can beat one another.
yeah.
Like they all can trade fights with each other.
I think Zhang should fight Bacola. In all honesty, like they're
That's
both
like
out of shape. They're both going to just plant their feet, and they're both going to just swing. And I think that'd be quite fun. But,
yeah, until they absorb it all and then look at each other for the rest of the fight.
yeah, maybe.
First 5 minutes will be really good after the
Yeah. But
diaphragm
anyway,
breathing.
there wasn't any other fight in this card, was there? I don't think there was.
Buatsi Smith, pal.
No, we don't have to talk about that. That didn't exist. That didn't
No,
happen.
no. No, that's like a top 3 fight of the year so far. That was pretty brutal.
Callum Smith actually beat a live opponent.
Yeah, it's
For the
taken him a
first time in
while.
his career.
Yeah.
For the first,
He was pretty good, truly. I know you won't want to admit that, but you're about to say Buatsi is just Jesus Christ.
Buatsi's so frustrating because
Buatsi's stamina and defense is some of the worst I've seen in recent years.
he can only fight for a good 45 seconds in a round, and then like
Yeah.
he's just getting pummeled, and you're screaming, just throw to the body, throw something, and it's just,
That's like,
I don't understand. What I don't understand about this was, yeah, you're actually pushing Smith back because Smith can't control distance at all. Smith's shelled up on the ropes, but then Smith's having the better of it. And I don't understand how you can do that to Cannon Smith. How can you
he
put someone
doesn't
worse off?
jab. He doesn't. Bossy doesn't jab like as much as he needs to, or like should, and he's just getting countered. He's getting rope doped by Callum Smith. So
Those body shots from Boatsy were hurting Smith, and then like
I know I was screaming at the TV like for like the last like 3 rounds. Callum was hurt to the body like maybe 6, 7 like separate times, and he just didn't
it
capitalize.
just sums up Joshua Boatsy's career, man. Like, yeah, well done to Smith, but like I tweeted, this shows you the level of Boatsy a lot more than it shows you the level of Smith, because we've seen where Smith is. We've seen that against John Ryder, Canelo, and Beterbiev. We've seen where he fits into this division. He's not a great fighter, and like Boatsy, like he got outmaneuvered, and it's just the experience of Smith, man. Like he knew when to fight, and he knew when to like neutralize it, and knew when to cover up, because he always knows when to cover up, because that's his main tactic in fights.
I do think in like rounds it was close, but like he didn't like help himself with like being exhausted for more than half the fight. It's like every fight of his that goes anywhere near 12 rounds, it's just not a good look. He like Aziz Richards, he's exhausted like halfway through the fight.
Look,
You know what I said?
look. Hold on, you go. I'm gonna drink some water.
My comparison with Boatsy, Howard Eastman, it's the exact same thing. Do you know how many times Howard Eastman was close to winning a fight? Reminded me of the Droppy fight. Like he was so close to winning that, but he just didn't have enough go to get over the line, and he didn't have enough stamina, and there was just a little bit missing. And like, it's just, yeah, like there's something missing with him.
Like half his fights are like majority decisions or close UD losses.
Like the Hutchinson fight, Hutchinson was ready to go, and Boatsy just didn't have it in him to finish it off. And yeah, Boatsy won that fight, but like I had that fight 6-6 on rounds. I only had Boatsy winning because of the knockdowns in that fight. And like it's just, yeah, like he's just such a frustrating fighter.
Yeah, because he's so slow. His defense is so bad. His reactions are terrible. They're non-existent. I mean, look, Callum Smith's offense is good when he can get it going. And the problem is when you're being out-jazzed by Callum Smith,
Here's a problem.
what is happening? What the hell?
What's going on? Like
This was an allegedly elite amateur.
I mean, to some people, maybe.
Gotta fool me.
He wasn't, but
Well, I mean, he was better in the amateurs, at least.
yeah. Because it was only
Look,
3 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, look, the difference. I mean, obviously the experience, the speed was noticeable. Callum Smith's hands are so much faster than Boatsy's. The defense, which is saying a lot, because I mean, like Smith doesn't have crazy defense, but at least he had some head movement and wanted to, you know, avoid punches rather than get hit with clean punches. And I like that meme of someone throwing something, and then like 10 seconds later they put their hands up. That's Joshua Boatsy's reactions. They're terrible. That might be the worst reactions I've ever seen.
You'd think with the amount of adversity he's like had in like older fights like Bolotniks or Kalic, he'd like develop a certain way to like avoid having to do that every fight, like having to like bite on the mouthpiece and have to like struggle. but no, it's like probably like 6 of his last 8 fights he's had to like force a lot of what he does, which makes his defense significantly worse.
Yeah, it took him 7 rounds or so to actually start properly jabbing. He stuck his hand low and started jabbing. Oh yeah, well done. He finally realized not to have an inside fight with someone whose main game is fighting on the inside. And what did he do when he had it kept it long? Use the jab. He won the rounds. Brilliant.
But you can only do that for about a minute of each round, and that's the issue. And then he got dragged back in. It's just, yeah. But I just want to give a special congratulations to someone on this fight. And it's someone that had a lot invested in this fight because he illegally broke a contract to sign a certain someone involved in this fight. Paid him 800 grand to fight Powell Stepien. Paid him over $1 million to fight Dan Aziz. He's getting. So this is all public, by the way. It's in the court case. You can look this up. It's quite easy to find online if you look through the British courts. And he's about to lose a court case over it, all for somebody that can't beat Callum Smith. Well done, Ben. Well done, Ben. And the other bloke you did it with, Lawrence Akole, you've shipped him off to Queensbury. He's now there, and he's about to knock out one of your star fighters. So well done, Ben. Well done,
Benjamin.
We know you're listening, Ben. We know you love to listen,
Benji.
We know. I know you sent your media guy to start the MMA the other day. We know you're watching, Ben. Hi, Ben. Hope you're well. Hope you try and get a new broadcaster soon because we all know that Sky deal is coming to an end. Your last hope's Callum Simpson, isn't it? I really hope Ben West gets through that Cameron rematch, mate. Because if not, mate, you're looking at Skid Row now, competing with Izzy Asif for GBM slots on the zone now, aren't you? Jesus. But we move on. Well done. This is the first time I'm ever going to say this, and the last time I'm ever going to say this. Well done, Callum Smith. You did well.
Look, Callum Smith put himself back in the mix at light heavyweight.
But now everybody knows if you breathe on his body, he's gonna be hurt. But
yeah,
fine.
Do you know what? If they're gonna do Beterbiev Bivol 3 or Bivol Beterbiev 3, however you want to say it,
yes,
I think they should have a 3-belt unification for the interim and regular titles and make David Benavidez against Callum Smith.
That's what I said. I said that yesterday. I mean, I said it on the undercard, but I don't know if he wants to fight on the undercard. I mean, he was there in Saudi. So why not?
Like a headline in Texas or like Arizona or something.
Yeah, it could. Yeah. But, I mean, if he wants to fight on the undercard, sure. Why not? Co-main event against Callum Smith.
Yeah, I would pick Benavidez to handily win that.
Yeah. Morel would beat him up.
I don't know. Morel's stamina. Actually, he showed good stamina in the Benavidez. Better stamina than usual.
I mean, he wouldn't need. I mean, it's one thing not being able to keep up with David Benavidez, but he could keep up with Callum Smith.
Yeah. Lewis Neri against Kameda was fun. We'll touch on that quickly. It was a fun little firefight that Neri was just too powerful for. Neri overwhelmed him and then stopped him to the body late on. Bit of a weird stoppage.
Kiyonosuke Kameda, his chin.
His chin's insane.
Oh,
he should
have been knocked out about 4 rounds before that.
Yeah, his chin is insane.
Snoring on the canvas.
And he's got insane toughness because those cuts were horrific as well. Yeah, Neri's back in the mix. That was fun. Fun little fight. The Neri's. It was like when it's a one-sided fight that's quite entertaining. If that makes sense.
Yeah, Kameda just couldn't really muster any offense like halfway through that.
Yeah.
He was just getting hit with way too many punches.
Yeah, it was a fun little fight. Neri's back in the mix, and yeah, it was good.
Yep.
Moving on to the Japanese card this morning. I'm gonna come out and say I think David Cuellar quit.
Well, he had to.
Yeah, like I think he felt those body shots. Legitimately went down after those body shots. Got back up. Junto pounces on him, drops him again, and then Cuellar just thought, "Yeah, I've had enough here." To be honest,
I don't think they
but
would
yeah,
let him get
really
even if he stood up. To be honest,
Yeah,
I thought
like
that first punch Nakatani landed like after the first knockdown. I thought he knocked him out like unconscious.
yeah,
That first
amazing shot.
stiffed him up. Like I didn't think he was gonna. I knew I had a feeling he's gonna knock him out, just not that early.
Yeah, it was a really impressive performance.
He did pretty damn good for fighting someone his size, and
Yeah,
apparently
and
bigger than him. I don't know.
it was definitely at least reasonably equal to his size.
He was wider, and they
Yeah.
seemed to be like
I mean,
the same.
Junto looked taller, slightly, even though apparently
They was
not.
Cuellar is taller.
See, that's
think-
when Junto like takes you seriously, that's the performances you get.
Yep.
I mean,
And
look,
when
his like his footwork and his like base, it was a bit. He was like falling off balance a lot in the first couple of rounds, but I don't really know what that was about. But you know, he fixed it in the third round, and look that. I mean, I know Caballero is going to get the body shot credit of the weekend, but you know, Junto Nakatani's body punching needs some, at least a shout out, some recognition. That was a crazy body shot
there's a
combination for
combination
the
for the
first.
body as well,
Yeah,
like 3 or 4 shots.
yeah.
I hate how like his stance is so ugly. He's like sideways to everybody.
Well, that's fine. I mean, you're meant to fight sideways. I mean, most people don't. Like they fight less sideways. But like technically, how Nakatani like does it is kind of how you're meant to do it. But more people just square their body up, especially Mexicans. But yeah, his footwork, of course, like wide footwork is for power. But I mean, it does kind of limit your movement, and balance as well.
It makes you telegraph a lot more than you should.
I mean, I mean, his offense is just like when he's just doing stuff. His offense is very predictable and it's pretty basic. It's not much more than just a stick the jab out 1-2. But then when he actually lets his hands go in combinations, his offense is very varied, which he doesn't really do until he hurts someone.
Yeah.
Like it's not good just hoping just to hurt someone with just one punch and then fully showing people your arsenal.
I said earlier today, like watching the fight, I was like, I feel like he tries to like recreate some like one punch knockout, like a lot. And it like limits what he should be doing.
Yeah, he gets bored sometimes, and then just like in the Salapat fight, he was boxing well, and then he just got bored. Like, why the hell is this kid still standing in front of me? I've hit him quite a lot, and then he just starts winging in punches, trying to one-shot ice people, and it's just like, yeah, like that's getting silly.
Yeah, I mean, he could do that just more, like what he did in the third round. I mean, it's there. We can see it. Have it. Do it.
Yeah, but there's
It's
a
great.
difference between like setting something up and then just like abandoning all your defense and just winging in hooks. Like, I think that was the perfect balance there. And against Salapat, I thought he just started just like, oh, this kid's not going anywhere. I'm just gonna start winging in shots to try and take his head off now.
Yeah.
There's a fine balance.
I mean, yeah, at least like he stayed disciplined this time.
I just really want to see him at his best when he's. It seems like he, like most of the time now, he just fights at the level of his competition. I need to see him against Nishida. Like,
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
right, right.
That'll happen in
I
June.
need that. I need that. Like, I need that.
From the rumors and stuff, from like a lot of these Japanese fights, they won't get you in the ring like that if they're not gonna have a fight like already lined up. If there's no like, it's been rumored for June for well over. It's since before the start of this year. It's been like, yeah, that fight will happen in June after Nakatani fights in Feb, and like, yeah, like I think that fight will happen. I think the IBF won't get in the way though, because like Salas Reyes hasn't won an eliminator. He's just a number 3 guy, and the IBF mandatory was fulfilled in May. So like, you know, it is what it is. I think that fight happens. I think it's a headliner. I think it's a really big headliner, and I think it's a really good event. And I think it happens in June.
I just think if he finally like separates himself, I do think he would. Nishida's got shown like a great chin, but his defense, like he gets hit with a lot more punches than he needs to. And I think Nakatani will be able to get through to him.
I think it'll be cagey early on, and then Junto's power and strength will take over the second half, and yeah, sort of a late TKO. It's the 1 and 2 in the division, both unbeaten, both.
Yeah, probably be for ring belt.
Yeah. Yep. By the way, do you know who the judges were for this fight? One judge.
I think there's an English judge. I think
Lee Every.
Oh, brilliant!
Whose last fight before tonight was Callum Simpson against the African on the Azim undercard.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah,
that has to be like one of his first few like title fights.
I think that might be his first title fight. Serhii Bertruck is Mar Davis. No. Jesus Christ, he's been.
No,
I think that was his first title fight.
That has to be.
Yeah.
You don't. Chevon Clark fights good. Like,
yeah. Yeah, that's just random. I don't know how he got on the job. She's not very good. He's not a very good ref.
Well, luckily, he wasn't needed.
Yeah, thankfully. Tenshin Nasukawa against Jason Maloney. I thought this was a really fun fight.
Went exactly how I thought it was going to be. A competitive 7-3 fight. That's exactly what it was.
I think this 10 rounds will do Tenshin the world of good, and I think it's better for this 10 rounds is better than his entire career to date for development. Like, he has to come through some stuff there, and he showed grit. He showed bottle. He showed really, really good body punching. He could trade on the inside, and I think he's learning. He's learning how to turn his punches over and stop people, and like punch hard, not stop people. But his power's definitely getting there because, like, he was visibly hurting Maloney to the body.
If Maloney wasn't Jason Maloney, he would have got a stop. Like, he would have let mayhem Maloney, then he stop him to the body because he hurt him multiple times at the end.
Yeah, and I mean, he showed some adjustment as well. Well, it's like the 6th round that Maloney had a really good round, and then like he just went on to win like the next few rounds. Oh, I mean, he lost the 10th round, but that's fine. Cause, Maloney, but he was coming. Like Maloney tried to win. He needed a KO, and he came for it in that 10th round. And even then, I mean, like, Tenshin was competitive in that 10th round as well. I mean, he hurt Maloney at the end of the round to the body.
Yeah. But yeah, he needs those 10 rounds. I wonder who's gonna fight. Who's gonna get next? If they're gonna like keep him on the same level for maybe a fight or two.
It's okay.
I
You
think
think
it's
they
either
should
Takei
throw him
now.
right to TK?
Yeah.
How about
He
with
beats
the with like how Nishida got in the ring for? Oh no, TK
Yep.
did get in the ring, didn't he?
He did get in the ring.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was in the ring.
Yeah,
He was in the
sorry. I remember I was at 23% energy when that happened.
ring.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, he did get.
Yeah, I think Tension beats Takei. I've thought that for a couple of years, or not a couple of years, but ever since that fight, it's been like a real possibility. Sort of about the last year or so, I thought Tension would beat him, and I still do. I think Tension's way too quick, and his timing's way too good, and his footwork is way too good.
If they don't have that immediately, I would like to see him fight 12 rounds.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
the question. He's never gone 12 rounds.
But he probably because I feel like most likely he's gonna have to go 12 with TK. So like,
Yeah, because I mean, we've
and
seen
he looked
Takei.
pretty tired at the end of that Maloney.
Yeah, I mean, look, Takei has gone 12 hard rounds once against Higa. Then he had 11 reasonably easy rounds, and then nearly bowled him against Jason Maloney. But we know he can
and he
go
went
12 rounds.
11 with he went 11 with Bruno Torimo as well.
Yep.
But he's been like rounds where what Tension's been 10 now twice in a row.
Yeah.
Like you
So
would
I like
assume,
to see him 12 foot.
yeah, like you would assume it's 2 more rounds. He can go 2 more rounds, but
He looked pretty tired at the end of that Maloney fight.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that was, I think, Maloney did pretty well in the fight, I think.
Yeah.
I think pretty well. I mean, he still has, I think he still has a lot left. He's just going to be an opponent from now on. Like, for good fighters, but he's just an opponent.
He just missed that little step, man. He was just a half step behind that, like most of the fight, and like he couldn't do the adjustment. Where it took him in his prime maybe a round to get an adjustment and figure it out. Maybe it took him about 2 or 3 rounds, and like by that point the fight was like slipping away. And like it's just the signs of like a good fighter who's aging. That's what I'd say. That's what he looks like. He looks like a very, very good world level fighter that's just aging.
So he's like good. He's like good at everything. He's not great at anything, but
He's a 7 out of 10 guy. He's 7 out of 10 everywhere.
And that's the perfect guy.
Yeah.
You want.
Like he's not elite at anything, but he's good at everything, and that makes a very good fighter and makes a hard fighter for everyone.
Unless you're. Anyway.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like he's been a solid fighter. He's been a very good part of the bantamweight era. Well, he's spanned like 2 or 3 eras, man. Like he in the WBSS and like coming back for Inoue, and then sort of the Astrolabio sort of people, and now the next era with Tension and people and Takai. He's been a really solid fighter. I hope he gets a couple more fights and big paydays.
Yeah. Well, is Sasumi going to rematch Takuma?
I think so.
If he doesn't, I wouldn't mind seeing Maloney against Takuma.
That'd be a good fight. That'd be a very good fight, actually. Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
I
That's
think
good.
that'd probably be a list. I'm not gonna lie.
That's actually a great fight, man.
All right, calm down.
No. Like
I know,
I hadn't thought of that. That's a really good.
Hey, promotional companies, if you need a
wait,
matchmaker,
the promotion.
if you need a matchmaker, give me a call.
Nice.
It wouldn't surprise me if they make Jason Maloney against Katsuma Akitsugi on Pro Box. That's a Pro Box main event.
All right, let's not disrespect Maloney too much.
No, that's a Pro
No,
Box
he's not pro box level yet. All right, calm down. He deserves to be on ESPN still.
Yeah, therefore either finished or kind of crossroad fighters or prospects.
He's nearing it, but like, chill.
Yeah. If we're not gonna get Takai against what's his name? Tension next. And if you're looking to step Tension up a level, or maybe keep him at the same level, depending on how you see it, I think Daigo Higa would be a good opponent. Daigo Higa against him.
Thinks about his recent career.
But yeah, let's move on to that fight. A ridiculous fight, Tension against not. Fuck Jesus.
Wrong guy.
Tatsumi against Daigo Higa, ridiculously good fight. Really, really fun.
2 fights, 2 draws. That's tough because I
Maybe they
feel like
just.
Tatsumi probably should be 2-0.
Yeah.
Well, this one, I mean, I'm not arguing with the draw. I mean, I think it was close enough. I did have Satsumi winning, but only 7-5. Look, I mean, it was a good start by Higa. I mean, he was boxing really well. And look, Sasumi's just grit and determination. Just off the charts. Like, he's down. He has a cut that could stop the fight. Like, if he's not the champion, maybe that probably gets stopped with that cut. That was just a terrible cut.
Yeah, scar
And like, he just wills his way just back into the fight and, like, in most people's eyes, to the win.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's so hard to beat someone like that. Obviously, people will beat him. Could beat him, like Nishida would beat him. And Junto would beat him.
Takuma, if he wasn't showboating the entire fight.
Just someone with that just will and determination.
You've got to put him out.
Like, it's just so hard.
I
mean, look, maybe without that cut, like, if he had the same, if the late fight, if the fight went the same, the late, he might stop Egon. Because he did have him hurt, like, to the body. But, I mean, he just couldn't really, because that cut was so bad. He must have lost so much blood.
He was wiping that cut constantly.
I think the worst thing to happen to Higa, ironically, was getting a knockdown.
Yeah.
Because then he went crazy, and then he gets almost cleaned out himself, and then he just wasn't the same for the rest of the fight and lost.
Again, with Cuellar,
he lost the round that he got.
Yeah, he did, because he was dead. I thought he was dead.
I thought he was unconscious. I thought he was out cold for a second.
If you listen to the post-fight, if you read the post-fight comments, he was like, "Oh yeah, I don't remember the fight. I have no memory of the fight. I was totally gone. He was literally sat in the press conference asking about the fight to reporters. He didn't know he got knocked down. He didn't know he scored a knockdown, and he has to get reminded of the result. Like, he was gone.
That's kind of insane. Like, the human body to, like, just ignore the last, like, hour and a half of your life. That's crazy.
Like, and he was battling, like, what a fight, man. He is so tough, Daigo Higa. He punches so hard. He's a really fun fighter. Man, he's a really good fighter. He's just not a bantamweight.
I wish they let him. I wish they wouldn't ban him. I wish they banned him from flyweight, but not super flyweight. I wish they just let him be a super flyweight.
Yeah, imagine him at super flyweight.
He would probably be a 2-division champion already if they just let him.
Well, imagine, because at that time he would be in, like, he would have been part of the Roma side, Chocolatito Estrada, Quadras era. Yeah.
That would have been horny.
Like, like, he's a good fighter. He's not
even old yet. He's
just not a bantamweight.
So in his last 9 fights, draw with Tatsumi, lost to Nishida, beat Sanada, beat now upon Sorangwasai, lost to Takai and drew to Tatsumi in his last 9 fights.
It's like salute as far as the salute as far as the other fight where the only other fight he's been dropped in.
Yeah, like
Yeah, that
man,
run's pretty
that run's a good run.
good. And truly, I thought he beat 2K. So like,
So did I.
Look, I thought he just nicked the Takai fight, but he's only got himself to blame. He got battered in the last round, and in a tight fight, you can't afford to get battered in the last round after just scoring a knockdown. Like, yeah, he might have just nicked it, but like, it's just you can't afford to lose the 12th round against a champion who's a big name on a champion show. That wide, like, just is what it is. But yeah, he's a good fighter, man. He's a solid fighter, and I just wish he was at Superfly. I wish he was at Superfly.
I wish they consider that he'd be allowed to go down. It's not like he missed weight for that weight too.
Yeah, like, I mean, they let Neri back, for God's sake. Like, just, you can let Daigo Chiga go to Superfly.
I think he would beat I think he'd beat Kafu.
Yeah, he beat Kafu. And he beat what's their names? The 2 IBF guys, Bibiano and Garcia.
Yeah. He would stop both of them.
Yeah.
But
yeah, what a great fight. And that round 9. That round 9 might be round of the year.
It's round of the year. Yeah. It's either that or what's it called? Cruz Fiero round 3. But it's
round 6 of Smith Boatsy was good as well.
And I got Benavidez Morel round 4 was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Those were the couple
rounds.
It's
been good boxing this year.
Yeah, it was a slow ass start, but
yeah, it's been good boxing in February.
Yeah, February's been unbelievable. So many fights this month, man, that have been great. Like, what a month! What a month! But yeah, Tatsumi against Inoue, I favour Tatsumi again, to be honest. But that fight's not going to happen for ages because, you know, Tatsumi needs to heal from that cut, and I think Inoue is out in May. That was the rumour, that Inoue's fighting in May. So who knows? Who knows? But hopefully Tatsumi against Inoue gets made, and then or gets made quickly if it does get made. I don't know. I don't really need to see it again, to be honest. But it is what it is. Yeah, have I missed anything?
No.
Okay, that's good. Right. Thank you for listening. To this episode, and yeah, all the links below. Great weekend of boxing. We'll be back on Wednesday. There's a Gervonta Davis fight against someone. I'll be on suicide watch if Lamont Roach somehow pulls this off. Adam Smith and Lamont Roach winning inside a week of each other. I won't be able to handle it. I might have to stop watching boxing. But yeah, we'll be back on Wednesday to preview that. There's a couple of other cards. Matias is fighting. There's an IBF eliminator that shouldn't be an eliminator or welterweight because they're both York Hall level fighters. But it is what it is. And we'll review that on Wednesday. But yeah, thanks for listening.
See you in episode 37.